Contact traffic easy 17 with Golf, taking off runway 08 right, Gateway.
Yep, done. I'm back. Right. The banner's not working. Oh, that was just a complete, utter mess. Just go away. Honestly, this is... I have never seen this PC like this. I mean, I know I've only had it a few times when I've done a couple of streams, but it is absolutely hating life right now. I don't know what is going on, but it's just... You should have seen the departure. I was like... It was like a fighter jet. It was going 90-degree, banking from one side to the next. It just could not cope with it. I guess I'm assuming that's the scenery, it's the only thing I've changed, so that would be going in the fucking bin after this. If it can't handle that scenery on a cavalcade day, there's absolutely no chance. Oh well, hopefully Mykonos will be back. Well, I don't know why it struggled so much. I'm still struggling, I still can't even pan around without it jerking about. When it was jerking around that much, we've lost about 4 minutes in time, just because it was jerking around. Gav. Thank God I wasn't landed in Heathrow. I think that would have been an absolute nightmare. No, Crumpet, it was the Inibuilds one. It was still on offer for about £13. Thereabouts. So I thought I'll buy it. Not thinking it would cause too much of a problem, but my PC just basically threw its toys out of the pram. It was just like not having any of it. To be fair, the actual takeoff roll wasn't too bad. That was okay. That didn't really lag. And once I started taxiing, that was okay, but I think OBS crashed or something happened just after I pushed, which is probably just as well, because as you said, departure, it would have been quite comical, but the aircraft was just rocking back and forth. It was like 10 degrees nose down at one point, 60 degrees back at another point. It was almost out of control, and I couldn't pan around to see what was happening because the lag was so bad. When you try to pan around, it just panned you around 360 degrees. You just end up looking at the seat cushion. I just disconnected the autopilot in the end, so I just try and got it straight and level. Just left it for 2 minutes, but it was just horrific. Which is a shame, because the last stream we did, which was the Calvi one, I think, that was a really good stream. The sim performed really well. So it's a bit of a shame it did that. Hopefully it won't be that bad down the other end in Mykonos. But I mean, that Heathrow scenery will be going out of the community folder later on today. That won't be going back in there. And I was looking at the default scenery as well earlier, and I just thought, it looks a bit more pants, so I thought I'll just get the better one, because it just looks a little bit better, but it's a mistake. Yeah, the sim was fine. It wasn't the sim was still online, Chris. To be fair, I didn't even realise what had happened. I think Dan or something said it crashed, or somebody said something, and I was thinking, oh, you've crashed. It's like, no, it's not crashed at all. It's fine. It's still going. It's no problems. But then what I didn't realise was the stream had stopped and that had crashed. Hey Gav. So I didn't actually realise this until about 3 or 4 minutes after we'd actually taken off. And I was like, the stream's gone. But yeah, no, the actual the PC and the flight was fine. Although I couldn't do anything because it was lagging so much, the aircraft basically became uncontrollable. But I just restarted OBS, just restarted another stream, and it's back. So hopefully it'll be a bit better now. He says 3537 is a bit tight. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. If you're with the kids, Gav, I try not to use any of the blue language. Not that you can hear me because it's going to be muted. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Tell my doggy's turned up. Right, I'm just going to chill out. Yeah, it's quite hot, actually. Oh, no, yeah. I know, Gavin. I feel dirty. Yeah, I will. Just British Airways is, you know, British Airways can cut in anybody. Right, I think now we're a little bit further away from London. It all seems to have settled down a bit. Yeah, that's why I got it, Chris, and I think the old one's a bit better. A bit more classy. Right, there's 1,000 to go. In a bit, Gav. Blackout start. Out cruise. Hello. It's still laggy. Oh, it's still laggy. It's pressure. I mean, thank God it didn't give me an engine failure on departure at Heathrow, because I think I just would have crashed. There's no way that would have been controllable. Not with that lag. Right, 30. Hey, Doctor. Right, 37 at some points, 30. Should be about 24 minutes in, about 7 points, extra ton. So it should be about 9 tons of fruity, which is probably going to be there or thereabouts. 24 minutes. Yeah, it's not maybe too far off either. Alright, let's get some weathers. Unix give me the option where I can get 4 of them at the same time. Brussels is covered gate. Where else? Frankfurt's really good. Yeah, Frankfurt's ADD. That's fine. Okay, good. Look at Munchen. So I learnt the expression "Du bist hübsch" in Munich, Christian. So hopefully you understand that. Delay cut. Yeah, it's just I can't be asked to go away. Bugger off. Unix Kavake, good. Where is it? Weather. Let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at Ljubljana. LJ. Ljubljana is good as well, lovely. So, all pretty good across the continents. Helps. There we go, 9.130, that's what we wanted. Or I could just adjust the bugs on here. That's quite useful. There we go, I just need some music now playing in the background. Someone will have to tell me how to do that. Hi Barry. Let's go over your home. There it is. I should get to speak to, who's that? Is that Ryan? I think it is. Oh, Langen radar. What is he on? 23,275. I'll speak to him in a minute. Stays on. That is CPDLC address. Gonna work. Gonna wake up. ATC. ATC. Q. What's it? ED. GK. If he stays online. Damn Busters thing. I wouldn't even know how would you even get music on, that's the thing. I'm a bit gutted about that Heathrow scenery. It is a waste of money. Just a bit of a shame. Never mind. Now, after you left London, the lags are getting better. You might want to use RAM map, which can easily be used as soon as running to clear the standard cache. I mean, it's better than it was, Christian, but it's not great still. It is laggy. Is that just Google that? RAM map. You don't think it's Heathrow something? Okay. I'd love to know your thoughts, Dark. If you think it's cash or something else. To Ramage. Yeah. I'm not sure. radar. Good afternoon, Speedbird 6 Mike Kilo, flight level 350 and approaching Billix.
Speedbird 6 Mike Kilo, good morning, radar contact, proceed to Nombo and squawk 7014.
Thanks, direct to Nombo and squawk 7014. Sorry, it's late contact, I was just putting the shopping away.
No worries.
Alright, that's it. Straight to Numbo. Let's have your beams. Alright, Numbo. Right, sorry, bear with me guys, I'm just putting my shopping away. 1 second, so I'll be back.
Lufthansa 62 Tango descent now, flight level 250, and to confirm direct Delta Fox 652.
Direct Delta Fox 652 and descending now, flight level 250.
Yeah, shut up, thanks.
Gravity 7470 Unicom, ciao.
Off the air second.
Unicom, danke dir Daniel, schönen Mittag, ciao ciao, Gravity 7470.
Danke, ebenso. Condor to Echo Alpha Unicom, ciao.
To Echo Alpha Unicom, ciao.
Right, I'm back on. Right, so it's typical, isn't it? You know, you put in the shopping away and then radar control concentration. Anyway, what's it doing? That's done. Do it in low, that's fine.
Transavia 96 Charlie, climb flight level 390.
Can I do 370, please?
Yeah, of course. Transavia 69 Charlie, climb flight level 370.
370, thank you, Transavia 69 Charlie.
London Heathrow, schönen guten Tag, Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet inbound, test ja at flight level 130.
Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet, hello, radar contact, climb flight level 240, direct APEC.
Climb flight level 240, direct APEC, Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet.
Right, how far we gotta go? Still quite a while. Still a reasonably long flight, this, isn't it? Right, this bit's going to be interesting around sort of Serbia and Croatia around all here because there's a few thunderstorms around. And when I looked at the weather radar earlier, it was sort of bubbling up.
Euroton 5218 at Cologne Bonn Airport requesting APAC trims to light.
Yeah, it's sort of more.
For clearance at Cologne, contact radar on 13565.
So I think we'll be able to deviate to the south if we need to around there. It's a little bit over
13565,
Greece.
sorry for that, bye bye.
There's a few thunderstorms around here.
Lufthansa 905, descent flight
But
level
the rest of it down
130.
here looks pretty clear, so it should be fine.
Sending 130, Lufthansa 905.
Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet, proceed direct Delta Lima 510.
Mykonos.
Direct Delta Lima 510, Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet.
Lufthansa 62 Tango, descent flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, Lufthansa 62 Tango.
Condor 48, descent flight level 100, 2000 feet a minute or greater.
Descending,
down that
level 200, 100, 2000 feet.
You can't really see it in this picture, but this is it's quite a steep terrain profile. I think the threshold's about 500 feet-ish somewhere. So it's quite a lot of sort of height difference between crossing the coast. Always makes it good fun. Chats. Don't really need these. I'll do a departure. Agapu. That's what we're doing. Agapu, Bismo, so there should be a transition from there somewhere. 3, 4. Yeah, there you go.
Lange Radar, schönen guten Mittag. Orange 89 Charlie is flight level 390.
Hello, Orange 89 Charlie, radar contact.
Let's have a quick look at the landing distance, because I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Lange Gute, die Lufthansa 816, passing level 100 for 130.
Lufthansa 816, hello, radar contact, climb flight level 240, direct Natsu.
Level 240, direct Natsu, Lufthansa 816.
Okay. See that again. Agadoo. Yeah. I'm not singing it. What we got? So 350-21s, yeah, reasonably stiff breeze usual. Good viz. A bit light cloud around 28 degrees, 1009. Let's go try 34. 360 is about that, yeah. Medium, probably full reverse. Thrust.
Lufthansa 1 Charlie Juliet, contact radar 13565, ciao.
13565, ciao.
So 0.57.
Tweetjet 2420, Unicom, bye bye.
3.2, 60.
Unicom 122.8, thanks very much for your service.
61 tons. No problems with medium. Too low, probably not.
Condor 48, maintain high speed and contact arrival 120.8, bye bye.
Do flat 3.
Maintaining high speed and 120.8.
Flat 3 seems to be better in this sim. Don't know why.
Lufthansa 62 Tango, contact arrival 120.8, ciao.
120.8, Lufthansa 62 Tango, danke schön, tschüss.
How are the pedals? Yeah, they seem okay, Mark.
120.8, ciao.
I haven't tried anything.
120.8, ciao.
This is what I was saying earlier. Well, I've literally had to use the PC as a sort of chock, I suppose, or a wedge. So I've got the pedals up against the PC, just to stop them slipping on the floor, because they just don't have any grip until I get upstairs on the carpet. They're just slipping around on the kitchen floor. So I needed something to prop them up against, and the PC was probably the heaviest thing that I had, which could probably do the trick, which probably is not the best idea, but it's a decent stopgap solution for the time being. But the winds are quite light in Heathrow, so yeah, they were a little bit expensive, Christian. I wanted Thrustmaster to give me some prosecco. Thrustmaster was just going to email me and go, oh, here we go, some Thrustmaster pendulum pedals, you know,
Easy 112 Unicom, bye bye.
That was probably unlikely to happen, so I just thought I'm not waiting around for it. Because really, if you do need pedals, you don't need pedals. That's a bit of a. You don't need pedals if you got light winds. If you got crosswinds up to about 15 knots, The
280,
rudder
Captain
on the
Safe.
side stick, the twist is
Land
probably
Radar, Gude, Airbrain
adequate enough. I
333,
think I was doing
230.
20 knot crosswinds.
Airbrain 333, hello, radar
few
contact,
weeks ago.
cleared Kirax 3 Delta
And,
arrival,
the side stick
direct
seemed to
Delta
work,
Fox
it wasn't too bad.
437.
But
Kerax 3 Delta,
yeah, you need
which
rudders.
runway is it?
Ask them assistants to
Runway 07.
hold them in place. Yeah,
07
yeah,
and Delta
Foxtrot
Foxtrot,
Oscar, I
what
think, from
was
that
the direct?
Delta Foxtrot 437.
So let's look at Discord.
Delta Foxtrot 437, danke.
So not only that, I'm used to rudder pedals. I've been flying with aircraft for donkey's years with rudder pedals. So for me, it's just a bit more natural. But I'm just trying to get the sort of the placements right, because they're ever slightly different to the Airbus rudder pedals just in terms of the shape. But I actually measured the angle the other day, because I thought the angle of the rudder pedals need to be similar. There's no point in being completely flat because it's just going to feel different. So I did actually measure the rudder pedals in the aircraft to see what the angle was, so that I could translate that onto these pedals. And for anybody interested, they're about 49 to 50 degrees angle. And if anybody needs to, if you've got these pedals and needs to know where I've sort of how I've adjusted them, because of course you can adjust them and adjust the sort of lie angle and various other things. So I've adjusted it pretty much to get the angle. Yeah, I have marked. They're not far off. There's probably a degree or two difference between the real world pedals and these. The difference is these have the real world pedals are completely flat, as you can actually see. So they're just one big flat board. Where the pendulum pedals, they're probably about half this shape, and there's sort of a dent, I suppose, from the bottom, so it just feels ever so slightly different under your foot. And the depression, so the toe brakes, the amount of depression you get in the toe brakes on these is not quite as much as what you get on the real aircraft. So again, it's a lot easier to get full brake depression on these rudder pedals.
Condor 971, descent flight level 140.
Well, on the real world pedals, you really got to slam on. There's a lot of movement that goes back. So again, that's
Condor
just going to take a little bit of getting used to. Because what I normally use to brake quite lightly on the real world would be even a smaller amount of movement on these ones. So it's just sort of getting used to those, I suppose. Of course, the other thing is this is a sim, so there is it's not a full motion sim. It's a desktop sim. And so you don't feel that deceleration, so you can't quite feel how much brake pressure you're putting in, where obviously in the real world you do. So that's a little bit difficult. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to, just to sort of know how much brake pressure I need to put in to slow it down better.
Requesting out of cockpit for approximately 2 to 3 minutes.
Like the real world pedals, it's just a little bit different.
Speed 300 knots or greater.
The amount of
300 or greater,
is a little bit less. But it's more or less there. It's close enough. It's probably good enough for what I need it for. I just probably need to move this sim upstairs onto the carpet. It'll probably be a little bit better. But yeah, they weren't cheap. But, is anything in simulators cheap nowadays? It's Frankfurt. Okay, very nice.
Condor 971, descent flight level 110.
Flight level 110, Condor 971.
Condor 971, contact radar 13565, tschüss.
13565, schönen Tag noch, Condor 971.
Bitte. Lufthansa 816, Unicom, ciao.
Unicom, vielen Dank, ciao, Lufthansa 816.
Lufthansa 2 Lima Golf, Flight Level 240, wir sind neu.
Hallo, Lufthansa 2 Lima Golf, identified, kein Problem. Speed 300 knots.
Speed 300 knots.
Lufthansa 2 Lima Golf, proceed direct to Kerax and cleared Kerax 3 Delta arrival.
Here. Doesn't really depict it very well. It's okay.
Airbrain 333 back in the cockpit.
Right, who wants me on Discord? Do you need to do this every time? Yes, you do need to do this every time.
Radar, no, Air Hot 59000 passing flight level 140, just to confirm, is my squawk set to squawk mode Charlie?
Not
Yeah,
always.
59 Bravo, radar contact,
most
hello.
of the time.
Yeah, squawk mode Charlie is Is fine, squawk 1000 and turn right heading 290.
Head to confirm for air hop flight above.
Heading 290.
Roger 290.
Lufthansa 364 Tuesday.
Lufthansa 3364, radar contact, hello, climb flight level 200.
Climb flight level 200 to Lufthansa 364.
Condor 2 Papa Delta, descent flight level 150. Condor 2 Papa Delta, descent flight level 150.
Level 150, Condor 2 Papa Delta.
Right, doesn't look there's any air traffic control after the
Lufthansa
sky.
2 Lima Golf, direct Kerax 3 Delta 07.
Everybody else going to Mykonos.
Genau, runway 07 in use and cleared Kerax 3 Delta
And
arrival
a
route.
tap. Tap, that's in Munich. Interesting. He's not even left.
Kerax 3 Delta.
Your best friend David, yes, my best friend. Yes. Everyone's gonna learn.
Air 59 Bravo, climb flight level 240 and squawk 1000.
Squawk 1000 up to 240 for air hop flight Bravo.
2 Jet 79 Lima, climb flight level
I should
310.
start charging, really. Should I?
Climb level 310 to Jet 79 Lima.
Air 59 Bravo, direct IPGES.
Direct IPGES and confirm squawk is set to 1000.
FM.
Roger, thanks.
Right, what's the MSA on the flight plan?
Condor 2 Papa Delta, contact radar 13565, tschüss.
13565, Condor 2 Papa Delta, danke, schönen Tag.
Cool. 44444 10, radius 1314 10 again. Yeah, so a couple of little bits.
Air Bremen 333, descent flight level 130.
130 Air Bremen 333.
It's an hour and 17, so probably for 20-25 minutes around Ljubljana.
Lufthansa 2 Lima Golf, descent flight level 130.
And again.
Lufthansa 2 Lima Golf, flight level 130.
Yeah, maybe for another half hour or so. Interruption.
Indian Radar, morning. Emirates 207 with you, flight
As we go, there's some stopping Macedonia, North Greece,
Emirates 2207, hello, radar contact, squawk 2015.
Squawk 2015, Emirates 207.
Line radar, Chenex 1491.
Chenex 1491, hello, radar contact, kindly confirm flight level 350.
Yes, we are on 350, sir.
Thank you, Lufthansa 3364, climb flight level 240, direct Oboka.
Which one's there? I'll have to do it again. Let's try and do this cache thing or something else. See if that solves the problem.
Lufthansa 3364, correct. Contact radar 135.650. Ciao.
Long radar Servus, Lufthansa 420, passing flight level 123, climb, correction 113, climbing 130.
Lufthansa 420, hello, radar contact, climb flight level 200, direct DTAM.
Climbing 200, direct ETAM for Lufthansa 420.
DTAM?
No, not really.
DTAM, sorry.
I don't think it's got step altitudes in it.
Lufthansa 3364, contact radar 135.650.
But it says no optimum.
Contact radar on 23665. Could have been there.
No optimum.
Contact
There's a surprise.
radar, contact control on 135.650, Lufthansa 364.
Well, it's a lovely day. A lovely day to at least watch and look out the window. Is there not a shortcut for like the FOC? Not that I want to sit in it, but this is overhead.
Help 59 Bravo, kindly confirm you have the altimeter setting 1013 and proceed to Rapro now.
Direct Rapro and altimeter settings 1013, active discuss for air hop with Bravo.
Stuttgart's over there somewhere. Possibly it could be Stuttgart. Yeah, you have to run me through, Christian, what I need to do. Do I just download
Lufthansa
something?
420, contact radar 13565, ciao.
13565, versuchen Sie kurz zu Zero, schönen Tag noch.
Op 59 Bravo, the mode Charlie readout indicates still level 235. Can you check again, please?
Roger, we'll check.
Orange 89 Charlie, Unicom, bye-bye.
Say again for Orange 89 Charlie.
Unicom, approved to leave, bye-bye.
Orange Unicom, have a very nice afternoon, bye-bye.
You too, bye. Twijet 79 Lima, Unicom, ciao.
Twijet 79 Lima, schönen Tag, ciao.
London Radar, good day, Turkish 997 Stuttgart, information beam on board, I particular
Turkish 992, hello, information Lima is correct. Kindly send your flight plan again, I don't have it.
Copy, Turkish 992,
Radar Lufthansa 454 Heavy, climbing through flight level 108 for 130.
Monitor you.
Lufthansa 454, radar contact, hello, climb flight level 240, direct RPEC.
Bells. Or receipts. That might be quiet. I suppose I can get rid of you as well, can't I? ACC. Card action. Just ADAS. Come on. Come on. Cheers, Christian. Yeah. No, he's disconnected me anyway. Right, you know, sort of. Maybe he hasn't. Disconnected, there we go. That's all. Done. Alright, let's go over here. There's the Alps. Should we divert into Innsbruck? No, let's not do it. I'm not doing Innsbruck. No, not today. Service simulator, I know, because I've disconnected it. I've locked off. Modes. Euro Control East just came online. Oh, did they? Okay. Let's go listen to somebody else. I'm guessing they're going to buzz me. No, let's press that now. Theodore. Fair enough, we'll see. 35.3. It was already. Does he have a CPDLC? I'm sure he'd buzz me. We can ask him. There's a big area to cover, yeah. Fortunately, it's really not consume any flights. Did I do a fuel check? I can't actually remember. What I have at Nombo. Nombo was 18 and 8 tons. Say it's about 7.5. Yeah, it's about right. Again, we seem to. I don't think the fuel burn is in line with the fuel burn for the plug. So the further we go, the more fuel we have. So I think this seems to think we're going to be burning more over that same time period. I'm guessing you just unzip this anywhere, Christian, this remap. Extracts. Right, remap. So click on the empty index tab at the top. And that's click on empty standby list. Oh, is that it? Okay. I did that, Christian, not really much happens, but okay. So we've got a bit jerky. Should we have a listen?
Say again, direct where?
Direct Casal, Kilo Echo Zulu Alpha Lima, report.
Where's Munich?
Roger, direct this now, we'll report races.
There's a couple of aircraft. Scandinavian. Going towards Oslo. Attack, gonna miss Mykonos. behind me. It's only going to cost. So TUI going to Garden. It's a long day. Is it from Frankfurt, I suppose? May take a while until you feel different. Oh, okay. I just literally pressed. Yeah, I just pressed it. There was like an option that came up. So, good. I do quite fancy getting the Salzburg scenery.
Airfans 310 Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Airfans 310 Unicom 1.
Yeah.
122.8, bye-bye.
Nice wrong time of year, I suppose, but you know, certainly when the winter comes back, ski flights to Salzburg, Christmas markets, it's always a good little place to go into. I wonder if they've got the... Do they have a new RMPAR? That's one thing I want to do, actually. I want to do like a video on RMPAR, because it's confusing as anything. But if you kind of get it, it's not so bad. Lose. But I wonder if they've got the RMPAR approach in the box, which I bet they don't. No. Clicking the right thing in. Don't know. We're not even approved to do it yet. Or not in Salzburg, we can do an RMPAR
Eurocontrol,
Dubrovnik,
78 Charlie inbound number, passing 240, climbing 360, may I leave the cockpit attendant?
Just through the valleys.
78 Charlie, hello, Eurocontrol.
Yeah, this is the one. This looks dodgy.
Climbing 360 and reporting back.
Yeah, that's the old fashioned one. Yeah, I mean, look at this. So RMP Zulu 332 AR, so need authorization required, which is what it says there. What's this down to? Oh, this is 0.3 as well. So yeah, we might be qualified to do it soon, or authorized to do it soon anyway. VPA is 3.6 above 12 degrees. Papi angles in coincidence with vertical path angle. I mean, I don't know. Would you want to do this in IMC? So 8,500 feet, you're only just above that peak. That's 9,000. You're only just above the peaks. It's not Cat C. No, it's not a Cat C airfield, Christian. It's don't be confused by this. This is the aircraft category A, B, or C, not the airfield category. No, it's Cat B, and certainly on 3-3 is captain's only. I'm fairly sure of that. 1-5 is just ILS, that's fine, but 3-3 you've got the, what we used to do, we used to do the visual approach circling, so we could do the circling approach, which was quite good fun. Let's go down here, off there, there's a couple of castles or something somewhere around here, so, and then just make a base turn. So you had that one, now they don't do that anymore, they've got the RMP approach, which I don't actually think I've done yet. I can't remember. RMP visual, that's the one. So this is the other one that we could do. So it just keeps us clear of departures of runway 33. Now we come in this way, and then this is more visual here. But they're going, now whether we're going to do this or not, they're going to introduce the RMP AR stuff, which is this, which means you start all the way down to Conic. And again, whether we would do this, because something from the UK would be coming from the northwest anyway, so I doubt we'd be coming in from these directions. But Milan Cruise and stuff might. I read it somewhere yesterday. It's wrong. To be fair, I mean, it's usually the airlines that categorise the airports, or they can increase the category. If it's a Cat B airfield, they might go, well, no, we're going to increase it to a Cat C, just because we want special training for people to go into it. But some places, you know, like Gibraltar, Madeira, Innsbruck, I mean, they are just Cat C anyway, because I think the authorities need certain requirements, or you have to meet the authorities, so it's particular requirements of certain training anyway. But no, Salzburg's Cat B, but yeah, I mean, anyone could do this. But it's quite an interesting approach. I'm interested to know if it's in the box. So
Control with 6273 ready for the...
With 6273 descent flight level 80.
yes.
Descent to 300 with 627.
Or might be. Is it? Oh no, RMP Zulu. Ooh, this could be exciting. Via. Yes, it does look scenic. Iconic. This could be an interesting one. So that's in there. Yeah, it is there. Very interesting. Yeah, there we go. There's your
RMP for 5 request out of pocket for 3 minutes.
And you would do this in final lap, so it's all managed. It'd have to be managed. I could talk about it a little bit now, I suppose. Where's my? I think I've written an SOP document, which is what I promised Gav months ago. It's the sort of new SOP, so I've basically rewritten the entire SOP document, which I'm up to about 120 pages so far, so it's quite long. But it goes through literally everything, including RMP, AR. It's a bit dry. It's a bit. So what you do? It does talk through it a little bit. Let's just take it off so you can hear me. But yeah, it's RMP AR. RMP AR is a little bit different to normal minimums. This is a bit different because it's only got one minimum. But we find Innsbruck's got, I think, multiple minimums. And Madeira might do. Actually, let's have a look at Madeira. A. Let's look at Madeira. So that might be a better example. RMP Zulu AR 05. Yeah, there we go. So this is a really good example. So in RMP AR, unlike low visibility procedures and auto lands, on an auto land you'd use the lowest minimum. So this finds Heathrow, because that'll have it. So if you're planning to do an auto land, let's be honest, effectively you're just going to use the lowest minimum you can do. And you know, Heathrow, Cat 3, airfield. So you would select, if you're going to do an auto land because it was foggy, you would select the lowest minimum you could use, as long as the aircraft capability is fine. So as long as your aircraft's working, you can be Cat 3 duals, you can use Cat 2, Cat 3B minimum, so you can go down to 75 metres and you can use basically a no decision height. So on low visibility procedures, use the lowest minimum you can based on what the airfield can do and what the aircraft can do. You need to turn out. Yeah, you do need to. Yeah, you do need an L flat, which I've turned off for a minute for this one. But on RMPAR, it's the opposite. So actually, what you do is you use the higher minimum. So in this example from Madeira, we've got RMPAR 405. What you effectively do then is want to choose the highest minimum, if you can do it. Obviously there's different heights here, so if you had the cloud base, that allowed you to do RMP 0.3, as long as you've got the cloud base to do that, you would then use 910 feet, it's 1500 metres, or 2400 metres, sorry, so I can't see. Only if the visibility drops, say the visibility is 2,000 metres, you know, you can't then do RMP 2 or 3, you would then have to do RMP 0.1. But the difference with RMP 0.1 is basically, what this is the aircraft has to stay within 0.1 of a nautical mile on this track at all times. So it's quite a restrictive accuracy you know, there's always a chance you may exceed 0.1, and you know, if you exceed 0.1, you know, you might potentially have to abandon the approach because you're exceeding the minimum of what you need. So if you can get away with it, use a higher RMP, because that way it gives you more lateral space. You know, it's basically a box, a protective box around this sort of lateral track. So really, if you can get away with using a higher RMP minimum, like 0.3, you do, because it just gives you more space that you can fly in without sort of exceeding any tolerances. Only if you absolutely have to, because the minimum's too low, or the cloud base, if the cloud base was 600 feet, overcast 600, you know, you couldn't use these minimums because, you know, effectively you're just not really going to get visual. So you might have to then do RMP 0.1. But yeah, that's the sort of difference between RMP AR and low visibility procedures, is that an RMP AR, you would actually look to use a higher minimum if you can get away with it, because it just gives you a bit more protection, or a bit more space on your navigation. And yeah, I could discuss that in sort of more depth another time when we do RMP AR. But yeah, so certain things you need. There's a lot of equipment. You know, for an RMP approach, for a normal RMP approach, you need a certain amount of equipment to do that. For RMP AR, you then need a lot more, and then there's certain failures on this. There's the initial approach fix. From memory, everything has to work before the initial approach fix, and then if it doesn't, if something fails, a GPS or a navigation screen or something, you know, basically can't continue approach. If something fails between the initial approach fix and the initial fix, you can have certain failures, certain downgrades. You could lose one GPS, for example, and then I think you can still continue. So then there's certain failures depending on where you are, either at the initial approach fix or the initial fix. And then again, there's a few failures, I think, after the initial fix. You might have to abandon the approach, or you're sort of really looking at the navigation accuracy of the approach if you exceed what you're allowed to have. But it's a complicated subject. It's taken me forever to get my head around. It's not the simplest of things. It's a bugger to teach. LPMA show them stats. Yeah, I could do Dart, but you know, technically, my airline's not approved to do it. Some airlines might be approved to do it. It is something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to do some RMP AR stuff because it's quite a complicated subject. What I really wanted to do was do it once I've finished written the SOP document, because I can run through that then whilst I'm doing it. And it would make a bit more sense when I'm sort of running through it, and you know, you'd actually have a document to follow. If I start waffling through things and you don't really know what I'm reading from, it would make it a bit harder. But this is, you know, you can see here that it is the valley, which I think this RMP AR approach into Salzburg would do. So we go through here, down through here by the looks of it, and then around here, and then finally sort of pop out somewhere here, and then land on 3-3 up there. So, you know, on a VMC day, you know, if the weather was like this, it would be absolutely beautiful. It'd be a lovely approach to do. You know, you do it in overcast, you know, a large amount of cloud and overcast at 1,000 feet. Yeah, it's going to be a bit nervy. Airline not approved. Well, real world's. The airline I think's approved. We've gone through syllabus. I think we've checked everybody now. Everybody's checked out for RMP AR, apart from the few stragglers return to works that are yet to come back from like long-term sick, etc. I think the airline is basically approved to do it. The only one we're doing at the minute is Dubrovnik. That's the only RMP AR approach we've got, which we've got approval for. And I guess it's just going to take time before we get other RMP AR approaches approved, and I think the rationale is they're getting an easier airport, although Dubrovnik's not particularly easy, but it may be getting somewhere unlike a Cat C airfield first and get that sort of tested and approved, and any sort of creases ironed out, and then they start rolling these sort of approaches out to the Cat C airfields as well. But I mean, arguably, this makes the Cat C airfields potentially easier, so I don't quite know. But we could do this one now, I think. Yeah, this is the one. So, you know, we were actually approved to do this, the RMPAR into 29, and this is another one that I was potentially going to use. And again, you can see slightly different minimums. So RMP 0.3, that's the only one you've got, which is fine. And then you've got, with IRUs, we've obviously got IRSs without RMRUs, so these don't apply. And then we're Cat C, so again, that's going to be 920 feet, I think. So what's the difference? A 70 knots, A 85. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is. Well, it's 10 feet either way, so it's not making a difference. Hey Emiliano, Argentina now. But this will be another one, another good one to do, potentially. And again, I'd have to, if I've got that document, I could just, I've got my copy of it, I'll just read it from that. Make it easier. Sort of missing the view over the Alps here, we're sort of talking. Very pretty. There we go. Right, what are we after? RMP 8R. MB. There's also things you've got to do on the ground as well. So for RMPAR, you've got to check your RAIN, which is your, what does that stand for? It's your GPS, basically. It's the monitoring of your GPS, and you have to check that on the ground, and you have to make sure that there's no outages or periods where you will not get, say you're going down a valley, you need to know if you're going to have valid GPS signals if you're in that particular valley, and there's a website which you go to sort of put some random sort of figures in, and it basically comes up with a list of particular times of the day where the GPS signal reliability might be low, or there may not be any sort of GPS signal at all, and obviously if you sort of intend to land during that time, then you probably won't be able to do the RMPAR approach. So you've got to do that on the ground before you even go. There's sort of a bit of a discrepancy or something. Receiver, that cheers Christian, I know it's for something. Supposedly, I believe, and I don't know how this has worked from a regulatory point of view, but you need to be able to check this live at any point during the flight. We can't do that in flight because we don't have any Wi-Fi or anything else, so they've obviously got around that somehow, I think. That's not quite how I understood it, but you're supposed to be able to check the sort of integrity of the GPS signals using this website even before you start the approach, where you can't because you've been flying usually. But you can check the GPS, predict the GPS still, so you can certainly do that if you went into Innsbruck at the time you arrive, and that will tell you if you've got enough satellites, but it needs to be a bit more clever than that, I think. But yeah, so there's lots. The aircraft needs to be approved, and as Christian says, it needs to be LDAV. So I've turned that off for this because this is just basically an old battered 320. But to do an RMPAR, you would basically turn that one. Turn that on. So you need LDAV, that needs to be displayed to do RMPAR, which is quite easy to do. A few 320s are capable of doing that. And then, where's the equipment? Oh, not really equipment, because it's always quite a long list. I'll run through RMP to start with, just so you can compare it. So normal RMP approach, you need, so normal RMP, which you most basically need one FMGC, so one of these, that one or that one, don't matter which one it is, one GPS, so you've got GPS, monitor, so as long as you've got one of the GPSs working, that's fine. 2 IRSs, and we've got 3, so again, as long as one of these is, or 2 of these are working, you're fine. 1 MACD, So you just need one of these to work. One flight director. So again, just one flight director needs to be on. One PFD on the pilot flying side. So again, if the captain's PFD wasn't working, the first officer would have to be pilot flying. 2 navigation screens, apparently, according to this. And it says you could potentially, if the navigation screen on the first officer's side was US, but the captain was flying it, you could just, if I can get the button, you could just switch the ND onto the BFD, so that would still be acceptable. So imagine that screen's blank, so the FA might not have any PFD at all. If the captain was flying it, as long as you had 2, which uses the button, that's still fine. And then 2 FCU channels, so just making sure the autopilot would work. So that's just a normal RMP approach. For an RMP 8R, we now need 2 FMGCs, so we need both of these. We need both MAC2s as well. We also need both flight directors. We need at least 1 autopilot. Both FACs need to work. So 1 and 2. So we can't have any faults in the FACs. 2 ELACs. So both ELACs need to work. 2 slats and flat control computers need to work, which they would come up on the flight control page most likely if they didn't work. Probably get some amber symbol here, probably flight controls. Both radouts, they need to work. 2 PFDs with VDEV, so they both need to work. 2 NDs, they both need to work. 2 GPS, so again, going from 1 GPS to 2 GPS. All 3 ADRSs, they all need to work. The terrain awareness warning needs to work, and we do RMPAR, both terrain needs to be on both displays, and the FCU in both channels. So there's certainly a lot more equipment necessary on the RMPAR. And then, as I said, at certain points on the approach, you can accept certain downgrades, but that's sort of after you've passed the initial approach fix. So it's just a bit more involved, really. But the reason is that the navigation accuracy is just down to a lot tighter tolerances. So because it's down to a lot tighter tolerances, everything needs to be a bit more redundant. Hence why everything pretty much needs to work. But that'll slowly be coming out soon. So I say it's still probably pretty high. Yeah, basically, Christian, it's taken a while to roll out. To be fair, I thought it might be a bit quicker, but I guess they're just doing a lot of testing on it. I would imagine the authorities, the airlines, the countries are probably collecting a lot of data from the 1 or 2 that some airlines probably do. So yeah, 13,000, 14,000 is probably MSA. Going into this guy's airspace. If he's still there. He's still there. got to 37 yet. Probably, yeah, we should be able to do that soon. I like ourselves, we're getting this guy's airspace. Has got a thingy. Didn't even see that. Action. A-U-R-E.
Anatolia 333, direct to El Pol, Echo Lima, Papa Oscar Lima.
Direct to Alpha, Anatolia 333.
Eurocontrol Air, very good afternoon. Speedbird 6, Mike Kilo, flight level 350, approaching Nemek, just south of Ljubljana.
Speedbird 6, Mike Kilo, hello, Eurocontrol, identify, direct to Bitla.
Thanks very much, direct to Bitsla. Speedbird 6, Mike Kilo, requesting climb flight level 370. Right, bit lower the beams. So I can do that here, can't I? Mac do. Out all. ATC request. Letter 370. Transfer. Request. Send.
Eurocontrol Vista Jet 503 level 400 requesting CPDLT.
Calling station again.
Vista Jet 503.
A little bit above the optimum, but that's fine.
Pilario 012, I'm back.
Roger, thank you. Vista Jet, say again.
Send.
Vista Jet 503, currently level 400, and yeah, CPDLC is confirmed. Thanks.
Dispatcher 503, identified.
First climb flying 370 blue. This is the NDB approaches left that you happen to fly down again. As it's been a long time since you flew.
NDB scope 0213.
0213, scope Belavia,
I haven't flown one for years, Danny. But I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really even make any difference anyway whether it's an NTB VOR, because they're all sort of what they call overlay approaches. So you're not physically tracking anything. And the autopilot, you're not tracking a radio. You can track NDBs anyway, but it's all the waypoints, the VORs and the NDBs are all stored in the database, and the aircraft's just effectively following a flight path that it thinks is where that approach is. So yeah, that's where final app comes in. So it's just a sort of managed approach. But you know, if the NDBs weren't even there, the FMGC wouldn't even know it. I mean, you are supposed to back these sort of things up in the raw data, but it's you're not really doing NDB approaches now, like when you're training to do sort of instrument flying. That's proper NDB approaches where you've got to account for dip and all these sorts of stupid bloody things that don't actually happen in real world aircraft.
Control is Ukraine 4678,
right, here's the weather, and so it's around here that we were expecting.
Ukraine 4678, hello, Eurocontrol identified through direct attack.
There at the minute, but I suspect somewhere over there will be some thunderstorms and some weather, but we should be above that.
Roger. Vista Jet 503, squawk 0215.
1491, flight level 350.
VistaJet 503, squawk 0215.
Sorry, was that for me, EV87 Lima?
EV87 Lima, go ahead.
We are requesting descent if possible, please, EV87 Lima.
EV87 Lima, descent flight level 250.
Hang out, Star.
Descending flight level 250, EV87 Lima, thank you.
Flying Bulgaria 432, expect descent, contact Sofia 131.225, bye-bye.
Yeah, cruise again.
Eurocontrol Chenex 14991.
Chenex 14991, hello, Eurocontrol identified.
Identified.
Let's grab a few more weathers.
Eurocontrol would say Ryanair 2536, outside level 300 inbound Rudder. Ryanair 2536, hello, Eurocontrol, squawk 1716.
Squawk 1716, Ryanair 2536.
Sky Travel Delta Echo, flight level 250.
Sky Travel 2 Delta 2, Sky Travel 1 Delta Echo, released for descent, Unicom 122.8 by.
Unicom 122.8 on descent, Sky Travel Delta Echo, see ya.
Ryanair 2536 identified, able to climb flight level 310.
Able for 310, Ryanair 2536.
Roger, climb flight level 310.
I don't know why it's not automatically coming up anymore.
Time 310, Ryanair 2536.
I think it's okay, winds 02012. There's main crosswind, just not too bad. 10.3008, so okay. Probably make that work. Toronto. Yeah, it's a Toronto. 18.
Calling station again.
Wizard 3210 in Poland, Eurocontrol control this afternoon, flight level 280.
Oh, this is annoying.
Wizard 3210, Dzień dobry, Eurocontrol identified to proceed direct to Gruda.
It's
Control from your
not too
uniform.
bad. A few CBs, yeah, that's kind of expected.
Direct low.
So, yeah, it should be okay, good news at least. Nothing significant.
Ryanair 8 Mike Bravo, monitor Unicom 122.8
So look at Thessaloniki.
Over to Unicom, Ryanair 8 Mike Bravo, thanks, bye.
KLM 225, monitor Unicom 122.8 bye.
Air Moldova 886, request
Mission of line,
Right,
monitor
that's good,
Unicom
it's good winds,
122.8
let's get cloudless.
Wizard 3210, confirm final level 280. Wizard 3210, thank you, reset scope 0216.
0216.
So, Athens, windy.
Air Moldova 886.
Stand the strip loop.
Air Moldova 886, descent flight level 240, plan flight level 110 over buses.
Nothing significant.
Descent flight level 240 and 110 over buses, Moldova 886.
So yeah, there's no problems there. So look at arrival. Message. So at the minute it's 350 at 17, so it's more or less straight down strip. Cavalcade still 28 degrees, 1009. Forecast is very much similar. This is the morning. so hopefully this will have died down by the altitude 36017 custom 27. So again, very, very typical for Mykonos.
KLM 55, switching to Unicom 1.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Bye-bye.
That perf page.
Your control, good afternoon, Transavia 3 Hotel, flight level 350. We have already contact with CPDLC, and if possible, I prefer CPDLC. Is that okay for you?
Degrees, nice and warm.
Transavia 3 Hotel identified, affirm.
350 is
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, ground speed mini, probably add a couple of knots to that. Yeah, 6 knots, that makes sense. What's the minimums? So I'll have only 1180. Fair enough. I am tempted for config 3 because it's windy. Yeah, let's do it. Performance is fine. Does seem to land a bit better.
EC87 Lima released for further descent, monitor Unicom 122,
right, I'm just going to go off the air for 5 minutes, chaps. I need to make some lunch, get a drink, go to the loo.
Quality Unicom 122.8, easy 87 Lima.
Start chatting.
Kilo, so about Echo Kilo, Bravo, Uniform Tango, and at flight level 350.
Aeroflot 2551, hello, Eurocontrol identified, redirect to Golf, Romeo Delta.
That's right, probably. Right.
Direct to Romeo Delta.
Aeroflot 2551, waypoint is Golf, Romeo Delta.
Golf, Romeo Delta, roger.
From Airlines 3345, request out of cockpit for 3 minutes.
Roger, report back.
Waco.
Alpha 2551, thanks for the direct.
Welcome. Ryanair, disregard.
Moldova 886, request continue descent.
Air Moldova 886, released for descent, Unicom 128, bye.
Taxi Unicom 122.8, bye bye. Ozzy from Soviet, Air Moldova 886.
Ryanair 2536, expect flight level 160 over Govan, report ready for descent.
Level 160 over Govan, report ready, Ryanair 2536.
From Airlines 3345, we are back. Thank you.
Eurocontrol, good day, Wizard 1060, passing flight level 250.
Wizard 1060, hello, Eurocontrol identified, through direct Lulin.
Direct Lulin point, Wizard 1060.
Eurocontrol is good day, Magic Sun 515 to crossing level 300 inbound Edeta.
Magic Sun 5152, hello, Eurocontrol identified, redirect KCAD.
KCAD, Magic Sun 515.
Ryanair 2536, request descent in 10 miles.
Ryanair 2536, when ready to descend, flight level 160, level by Govan.
When ready, 160 level by Govan, Ryanair 2536.
Eurocontrol, hello, Austrian 9 Golf Hotel, passing flight level 255, climbing flight level 370.
Austrian 8 Golf Hotel, hello, Eurocontrol identified, proceed direct to Talas.
Proceeding direct to Talas, Austrian 9 Golf Hotel, and we have CPDLC.
Emirates 2207, redirect Artat.
Direct Artat, Emirates 2207.
Ryanair 2536, no further ATCs available. Primary radar is offline. Monitor Unicom 122, decimal 8 high.
Unicom 122, thank you for the setting by 2536.
Agent 317, squawk 0217.
Squawk 0217, GM 317.
Here is Control Grey, Sounder 42X Whiskey, flight level 292, level 370.
Sounder 42 Yankee Whiskey, hello, identified.
And Sounder 42 Yankee Whiskey, we send a notification via CPDLC.
Agent 317, Eurocontrol.
GM 317, go ahead.
Agent 317, route direct Vacal, Victor Alpha, Kilo, Alpha, Lima.
Directing Vacal, GM 317, thank you.
Aeroflot 2551, reset squawk 0220.
Squawk 0220.
Eurocontrol Grenade 73 Alpha Final 370 mount Amugo.
Enter 1274, mic check.
Enter 1274, ready 5, but you are not identified.
Hello, Enter 174. We just have a request over here. We are over the Polish airspace and we just wanted to know what is the frequency for the Polish airspace. It does not appear on my vPilot client.
Enter 1274, report fly level.
Enter 174, we are on the ground waiting for FR clearance, but we don't know what frequency to connect to because it does not appear on the vPilot client.
Enter 1274, Roger, at Warsaw is not online. I control only above 5, so monitor Unicom for the moment.
Unicom 122, simulate Enter 174, bye bye.
All stations, I'm back in 2 minutes.
Right, I am back on after a little bit of lunch. Definitely a few thunderstorms around that rebuilding. I'm sure these will probably be a bit worse in real life. Not far to go. ATC probably didn't approve me to leave dark, but never mind. I don't think I was called. Yeah, we should have done that. Alright, anyway, another fuel check. Beam Nilku. Be back there to around 6 minutes. 7 minutes.
Eurocontrol is back.
Your Google 2 hours 5, so maybe a couple of minutes behind. Got up a ton, plus 2, 300. 5.3, 5.4 we probably want. Yeah, we got 5.9, so yeah, we're definitely not burning as much as what the fuel plan, or the flight plan ever predicts. Which is, I don't know how to adjust that. Not sure. Maybe I need to... I think this is probably set the wrong way. I think maybe I need a positive fuel. Don't know. It's on -4. Maybe it needs to be higher. Anyway, so we got more fuel than we need. That's the main thing. Well, the airports are gone. Anyway, should we have a look at this?
Top Sky 217, hello, Eurocontrol identified. Redirect to Mykonos, climb flight level 340.
Nice if I could turn him down. But that doesn't size.
Eurocontrol, Prosecco 3 Hotel, request direct Erima.
No, it doesn't.
Calling station again.
Prosecco 3 Hotel, request direct Erima.
Transavia 3 Hotel, Unicom 1228, bye.
1228, thank you, bye-bye.
Wizard 3 to... Wizard 3210, descent flight level 240, Unicom 122.8, bye.
Big B. 512.
Belavia 012, top of descent.
58 start.
Belavia 012, descent flight level... descent flight level 250, expedite passing 30.
250, descend and expedite 300, Belavia 012.
Top Sky 217, Rudder check.
Okay, that's missing something. Fire, is it?
Tango Kilo Yankee 217, Rudder check.
That looks better.
Anatolia 333, did you call up for Unicom?
Negative.
Okay, thanks.
So, Agapu, Bisbo, Big B, 512, 510, so 80.
Ryanair 60 Mike, hello, Eurocontrol. Identified. Wizard 1060, descent flight level 240.
Eurocontrol, Chinook 1491, 5 minutes from top of descent.
Chinook 1491, descent flight level 250.
Descent 250. 1491.
N6 Sierra Mike, lift cockpit. I'm disconnecting in about 2 minutes. A5 Unicom 1228. Ryanair 6 Sierra Mike, monitor Unicom, goodbye. Thank you.
Tango Kilo Yankee 217, radio check.
Tango Kilo Yankee 217, Eurocontrol, radio 5.
Okay, radio check, thank you. Tango Kilo Mike 217.
Good. Right, so that's everything in the box. It all looks like it's set up. So we can have a quick look at Mykonos.
All stations, Eurocontrol is closed. Monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Times. Good, you're gone. Right, Mykonos, what do we got for Mykonos again? It's another interesting place. Overview. It's a pretty good chart actually. So Mykonos can't see airfields again. So it's got a narrow runway. It's only 30 meters wide, I think it is. Look, is it 30 or 32? I can't remember. 30 meters, yeah, 30 meters wide. So narrow runway. Due to that, it's capped its only takeoff and landing, so that's a restriction. There's also a crosswind limitation for that as well, so 20 knots crosswind limitation for takeoff and landing, and that includes the gusts, but we know that the winds are actually more or less straight down the strip, so it's not about 10 degrees off at the most, so that's fine. Landing restrictions on runway 16 and 34, that's effectively because it's Cat C, which we'll discuss. Commanders must be qualified to meet the recency requirements to operate into JMK, which we do. And in terms of the operating restrictions, authorised commanders only, which we are. No experienced first officers, we haven't got any of those. No other training flights, unless it's for aerodrome qualification or revalidation. Captain's only takeoff, approaching and landing, which we've discussed. Runway 16 is a day-only approach, but we're not doing that because the wind's north, so we're going to do 3-4. And 3-4, there's a night landing restriction, which we'll come back to, but we're going to need during the day, so that's not going to be too bad. 180 degrees turns on the runway are not allowed, so the only place we can turn around is at the turn pads, just due to the width basically, so the turn pads at the end. Once we land, we're going to go down to there, turn around, come back, and then come into the apron. There's a little bit of terrain around. It's not too bad, it's not too high, but it's certainly there. It's off to the east, a little bit to the north as well, which you can sort of see. So just obviously be aware that there is terrain about the airfield. Stability criteria for the approach itself. Normal stability criteria, but this is all based off Barrow. So if we look at the RNAV, 3-4 loads. The touchdown zone thresholds is about 400 feet, so effectively we need to be 1,000 feet, it's 1,400 feet on the Barrow, and then we need to be stable at 900 feet Barrow, which is going to be 500 feet above the airfield. Because it's an narrow runway, it's going to give some false visual impressions. we're going to look high. So just going to trust the pappies on that one. And then there have been pitch calls, late flares, firm landings have been reported just due to that narrow runway, so just be aware of that. Loss of control is a threat. There's wind shear, there's strong winds, so the winds come off the turbulence. Where's my chart? That one. So the wind all comes off this turbulence down here and just creates lots of sort of vortices and various wind things. There's often a bit of wind shear around on final, which we'll discuss the wind shear stuff in a second. So yeah, expect considerable downdrafts on short finals with moderate northerly winds, which is what we got. So yeah, we might get some downdrafts on 3-4. There's limited space on the apron. I mean, it's got a lot better than it was, to be fair. We've now sort of nose in stands, so probably once we've vacated, it was Alpha 1, maybe Alpha 2, depending on who's about. And then one of the stands. The arrival itself, we're probably not going to the ACC online, so we'll just follow the procedure. It says the pappies aren't serviceable within nights and approach and landings. It's the only approved following the GNSS 3-4 approach. But the pappies should be working, so it's be fine. Pappies have been reported to be not very reliable with low brightness. Be aware of the visual illusions associated with narrow runway. It's upslope as well, so that's even worse. It's upslope, so it's narrow and upslope, so it is going to look high. And the terrain of runway 3-4 is downsloping sharply, again, which we've discussed. That's basically the main bulk of the actual airfield brief. In terms of what we're going to do, we're going to do this Agapu arrival, Agapu down to Bismo, and then from Bismo we'll just pick up the RNF approach. Bismo down here, Mike Kilo 512, 510, 508. 2,000 feet from Mike 10 to 508. 3-degree path, it's LNAV, but we can do this in fine lap. Visibility's fine, we can do that. That's not a problem. And in terms of where we're going to be sort of configured, probably 220 knots, somewhere around Mike 12, and then slow down to about 180. Flap 1 at Mike 10, and then flap 2 before we get to 2,000 feet. We need to be flap 2 before 2,000 feet anyway. Flap 2, and then 5 miles here from the threshold, so probably gear down flat 3 just as we approach Mike Quebec 508. This approach we need to do it 23,500 feet, and then it's left from one of these tracks that are in the FMGC, and maximum 210 knots, so we should be able to do that clean. If not, we'll do it at speed. Perth. It says green dots 228, okay, we might do that in speed then. Fair enough. Once we've landed, taxis the ends, turn around, back into the apron, park up. It's going to be flat 3 landing. Landing performance is fine for that. We've done this dry runway. Refresh the meter. 28 degrees. So medium water brake, max reverse, flat 3, and yeah, we should be good. We should be able to stop the imports as well. That's at 61 tons. So that's the main of it. The weather's fine, the aircraft's good, no terms, nothing really to affect us. Threats, we've sort of discussed that. MSA is 3,000, should be fine. 3,500, let's say 5,000 south, so let's say 5,000's worst case MSA. We've discussed the downdrafts and the winds. In terms of wind shear, if we need to go around, because it's wind shear, we'll react to, you're going to predict the wind shears, that doesn't work anyway, but react to wind shear, just react to that. Wind shear toga, go toga. If the autopilot's not in, we'll follow the SRS, pitch up to about 17.5 degrees. Don't touch the configuration until we run out the wind shear, and once we're out of that, then we can just go around flaps, and it's just a normal go around after that. Bolt landing's very similar. If I cock it up near the grounds, just tow drive control, bolt landing, go to toga, keep the pitch, and then once we're sort of getting away from the ground quite nicely, just go around flaps, and I just pitch up and follow the SRS to follow the go around procedure. I believe I set this one up. I think this aircraft doesn't do nav. I could probably change that. It's probably quite an old girl, so yeah, naving go around, so probably go around track, so I just have to remember to press that to go into nav after the go around. Well, that's pretty much it. Discussed how we're going to do it, what the threats are. If we can't get in, the flight plan's all in, that's all set. I've got Mykonos hard tuned. GPS parameters is high, that's fine. Got satellites, performance is all done, speeds are good, that's the minimums. Fuel we've got certainly enough to give it another go. We'll give it another go if we can't get in on first attempt. If we can't get in on second attempt, things like weather, we're looking towards go Athens. And Athens is quite windy as well, but in terms of commercial, it's a nice long runway, so it's probably a better place to go to. And that is more or less it for Mykonos. So it's not particularly the hardest place in the world. It's just got a lot of problems with wind, which can destabilise the aircraft and upset you quite a bit. But as long as you keep an eye on it and know what to do if you get completely unstable, then you should be fine. Hopefully everybody understood that. It's still looking good. So still got 11 people watching, which is good. Everyone's putting up with it. If anybody has any questions, anybody unsure of anything, just let me know. We've got a few more minutes until we're going down. What do we got? 10, 15, 10, 20, yeah, about 25 minutes until we start the descent. With exceptions to the horrific departure, it's been a pretty easy, straightforward flight. Did the frames come back? Still a bit jumpy. It's not too bad, Christian. I mean, there's a little bit of stutters occasionally, but I mean, there's always been the odd little stutter now and again, so nothing really out of the ordinary. I mean, it seems alright. Yeah, maybe it's a bit better. It's a bit laggy and jumpy to the extent. So yeah, maybe that has done the trick. I don't know what it did, but if it's done the trick, I don't mind. Yeah, so there's still a bit of a lag there. So what is everybody doing after this? I think we're going to do a barbecue, I think, for dinner. That's what we're doing. Which means I've got to get it out and start it, which is a messy job. Since it's a proper barbecue, which uses coal rather than gas, which is just basically cheating. Do you know funny looks from the other guy when you started measuring the pedals? Well, funny enough, I think I did it when they were doing the water, to be honest, so I don't even think anybody's in the flight deck. So no, I didn't really, actually. But I probably would have got a funny look. Yes, I probably would have got a funny look. Mykonos holding inbounds 088 right turns. So we're going right turns, good, 4 miles. Doesn't say anything about distance. No, it's just a minute. Into an aquarium, oh nice. After a famous donut stand on beer bar, yeah, sounds good. Oh, why don't I custard donut? Oh, that'd be good. I don't know where my AirPods have gone, it's all suddenly disappeared. water to an outside hosepipe ban affecting 15 million people. Oh, brilliant, great. So nobody can water their garden for a week. Never mind. Is anybody in the UK getting fed up with these energy prices? It's getting a bit sickening, to be honest. How they can get away with it, I don't know. £4,000 energy bills is a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, working from home from Tenerife found me about it. It's just ridiculous. I don't even want to get started on the conversation. It just angers me. And yet all these energy companies are posting, record, £1 billion profits. It's like, yeah, they obviously need to be hiking up the prices, don't they? It's not like they're in danger of going bust. Yeah, it'd be interesting actually, Jay, to see how much more the PC uses. I can't imagine it's that much, is it? Right, it's done a Greek. Oh, there's somebody in front of me. Ugh. Somebody's literally just taken off from Thessaloniki and they're going to Mykonos as well. I bet they get in the way. Is it Ryanair? That'll be Ryanair. They'll either get in the way, they cock it up, or they'll do something else. Yeah, well, when your bills are more than your mortgage, you really have got to worry. I mean, I think the UK should just do a blanket, just almost turn the gas off, just protest for a month, and just go, well, we're not going to have anything. Well, these pedals seem pretty good dark so far. I don't really have too many complaints, but we'll see what happens on landing. Even though there shouldn't be too much of a crosswind. Still a bit laggy. A mortgage is a very large chunk of money generally. It's money that you've got to pay back over a very long time. Right, where are we? Yeah, we'll be going over the top of Skiathos. That'd be another one I could do. Another Cat C airfield. That's all I seem to be doing at the Cat Cs. They do interest-free credit, I think, Dark. I'm sure someone does it. You can spread the cost over 4 months. Right, still don't have airports. Something wrong with this. VORs. Yeah. The deposit for a house is not cheap. It's ridiculous, isn't it, where like the mortgage is effectively as cheap as rent, if not cheaper. But, you know, if you can't afford 40 grand up front, which nobody really can, it's a sad state we live in. Thessaloniki somewhere around here. I don't actually know because I can't see it on the map. How do we get music on it? Is that Streamlabs? Need a bit of music in the background. Got some nice Greek music. Just need some feta cheese salad. I don't know what the local tipple is for Greece, but quite nice. €2.42. Yeah, hey Peter. Yeah, it's good. Well, so far it's going alright. The departure was utter. Well, it's just not chaos, but it was completely useless. I bought the Inibuilds Heathrow scenery. Thought, oh, that'd be quite nice to have a look at that. And I just don't think the PC could handle it. I don't know if it was the scenery. Dart doesn't seem to think it's the scenery. He thinks it might be the photogrammetry scenery around London, but just all around London, the sim was just, it was just basically uncontrollable. So yeah, that wasn't particularly good. Sadly, so it wasn't a very particularly good departure, but the rest of it's been fine. Just nice to get on the ground now. LOD. So again, you're talking gibberish to me, Christian. I don't understand these technical terms. Oh, laggy. Still laggy. Oh. They're still really struggling. Scaffolds is down there. Level of detail. Oh, right, okay. I don't even know what it's on, to be honest. I mean, maybe I need to just bring it back a little bit. I think streaming and OBS and everything else is probably just PC struggling a little bit. A310. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I won't have a clue what I'm doing, but it might be interesting. That's right, half it never worked on the real 310 crumpet, so I won't worry about it. The A300s were falling to bits last time I saw them. When you reset that manual pressurization pollution, change the CPCs over, but it didn't. I guess that's not long. Yeah, price is about £180 there, what about 80 in the UK generally. I think it's a bit more some places, a bit less than others. Which is still bloody expensive. So I do believe the scaffolds. Right. So how do I get it to work? Dashboard. Right. Join channel. Hang on, you sure that you've modded a modded Nightbot? Oh, so, if Nightbot is not moderator. Okay, so I need to put it as a moderator. Right. How do I do that? I don't remember now. Oh, this is making this unwatchable. Well, I've put him in, but whether it's actually going to work, I don't know. I might have to wait till the next one. So it says go live, Nightbot only join streams that are live. They are live. Not sure. It's there. He's now as a moderator. Oh, it's working. Oh, there we go. Hey. I don't actually know what commands I've got. That's the only thing. I think jobs one. I think. I don't really know what else to put. Yeah, there you go. So job works. Right, better go down, don't we? What do I want to go down to? Mykonos. Out above 190, which means 70. The constraints are in, so it should work. fine. There we go then. So, map to set 190 magenta. Visual RAM not using, it's like, again Dan, I've got absolutely no idea what that means. You're going to have to teach me. Dark might know, he was the one that set it up. Yeah, thrust dial. Yeah, still laggy. Well, this might be an interesting landing if it's laggy. Laggy on a narrow runway that's going uphill with downdrafts. It's got fireball crashed into the cliffs written all over it, I think. There's Athens over there. Oh, come on. No, still not happy. Where's this guy going? Somebody going to Mykonos, but not actually heading towards Mykonos. Brilliant. Well done. Mykonos traffic, speedbird 6, Mike Gilu. We've started at centre flight level 70, and we are the Agapu 1 Papa arrival. There's Athens. I do have Athens scenery as well. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of the community folders. If we did divert, we can go there. If the scenery works. It doesn't grind the PC to a halt. Remap again and again. Okay. Right, it's a remap thing. Empty standby list. Well, I do have skydive as well, but I've got no idea how to use that A replay. I don't even know if I've got it on the community folder. I don't know actually. Or should it automatically be up here? Or is that it? Top work? No, that's not it. I don't know. I did download it, but I haven't actually worked out how to use it yet. Our replay would be quite good if it works. Yeah, it's Mykonos up here. I don't know where this guy's going. He's not going to Mykonos, but if he is, he's going the completely wrong direction. What's his flight plan? Varix. Are you going in that way? What are you going in that way for? Yeah, I know what you've done. You've just literally done something from SimBrief and just followed that without actually looking at what you need to do. So that means you're going to get in my way. You could have done the arrival I'm doing, which would have been a lot easier. It's no whether I'm joining on train. Speed. Alright, so last little look at the weather. See if there's much change on that. Okay, I've only a couple of minutes. It's still about 50. Oh, that was a long time ago. 350 at 17. Okay. 28 degrees. Oh, come on. No, Danny, it's, you know, I mean, well, to be fair, I'm not going to whinge at people that do that, because even I'm guilty of doing that, I forget, like Unicom. But he's certainly going around the houses to get into Mykonos, when he could have just done exactly what I'm doing, just going straight on the Agapu arrival. There we go. That's what it is. be fair, he is on Unicom, he's writing it. Just seems alright, just a strange arrival. I mean, I could go over at the airfield. You know, I could do the Mykonos VOR, and then it goes round over the top, and then round the other side. That would give him a bit of space, if needs be. As long as he's on final before I sort of really get to Bispo. Cool. As long as he's on final before I get here, I'm not too worried. Is he Ryanair? No, he's. I think maybe he's Ryanair in disguise. Traffic, speedbird 6 Mike Kilo, we are 46 miles to the northwest of Mykonos, descending to flight level 70 direct to Bispo. He's even did a VOR approach. How long has he done a VOR for? I don't know. So I'm concerned now, Christian, about getting CMs. I'd love to get Corfu. Corfu's great. I love Corfu. But I'm a bit like, if I get scenery again at the PCX like this, I almost don't want to waste my money. I mean, this is like, it's still stuttering. It's still really laggy. Not expecting a lot of fun. Was that in Chicago, that 777? I did wonder where it was. Yeah, I think you're right, Crumpet. Okay. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it's not, you know, as much as I appreciate the package Gav got me, it's not a super high-end PC, which obviously you've got to make compromises on and things things like that, is it? So, it's certainly good enough for what I intend to use it for. But maybe I just need to lower some settings. I'm not too sure. I don't even know what the settings are actually. I'm going to have a look probably when we land. Maybe there's something in there which I could lower. I think that's the thing with PCs, is that there's so many different things you can do to optimise their performance. You need to be a sort of PC engineer to really know what you're doing to do that, which is certainly not me. Right, where's this guy going? He's going to the VOR. He's not even starting the approach. Oh God. Mykonos traffic, speedward 6 Mike Kilo. We are 9 miles from Bismo and we're about to start the RNAV RMB approach to runway 34. He's going to get in my way. I know he's going to get in my way. Right, let's strap him in. Let's slow down just in case. 50. After Bismol, we are going to 3000, I think. Bismo 7000 and then max 3000, yeah. 3 to 2. Good. Yeah, I need to put your brains down, probably. He's over the airfield somewhere, he's somewhere down here, he's doing the full arse about procedure, he's going to go all the way the other side, then all the way back in. Just so unnecessary. Oh, come on. Here we go again. Right, 3000 QNH is cross jets. 009 3000 is blue. Bridge checks. Find my checklist. Bridge checklist Barrow is QNH 1009. Seatbelts are on. Minimum is 1180. Auto brakes medium and EFB is stored. And disconnected. Bridge checks complete. Was that in on Unicom? Probably. Okay, I'm going to be another 10 minutes. Right, how are we doing profile? Not particularly great. Oh, 3000s. Come on, clicks. Yeah, he says looks like he's starting final approach. Right, well, manage speed. Approach phase activated. He might just be going.
Mykonos traffic again, 592, 5 miles, final runway 34.
Nice. Talks. Right, flaps 1, smooth chats. Where is he? There's the airport. Somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I predict that too, Christian. Just on the flare. Oh God, see, I can't even look around smoothly without it just jerking all over the place. Stop completely. 2000 blue. Right, my feet are in the right place, but the side stick's in the wrong place. Reach and everything. Oops, that was me. Come on. Jesus Christ. And it's grinding to a hole. Smooth, yes. Right, flap 2, smooth jets. Mykonos traffic, speed by 6 Mike Kilo, we're turning final 3-4, we're about 8 miles. That'll start. Alright, it's looking good, British buttons pressed. Final blue. Should be 0.3, it is. Out. Nice speed. No, it's RNAV down, you don't have the LS, the LS is only on from RLS, which this isn't. Get down. Flat 3, small jets, 3. Fine lap, and this approach was 3.5, I think it was. Yeah, 3.5. Set, VAP, VS, 135, yeah, ground speed is doing a thing. And a checklist. Cabin is secure for landing. Going out to 3,500 sound. Cabin is landing blues. Right, is he off the runway? That's the question. He is, sound good. Right, let's see if this works.
$100 above.
Visual. Lights off. Flight jets off. Bird on.
Minimum.
Come on. He's off. Thank you. For speed, a bit low.
Too low, terrain.
Oh, behave.
Too low, terrain.
500.
Terrain.
A stable.
Too low, terrain. 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 Too low, terrain.
20.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
That was bloody awful. Spoilers, reverse green, decel. Side reverse. Yeah. And brakes. Oh, come on. Mykonos traffic speed by 6 kilos from where we vacated. Well, that was bloody awful. I was like, I can't even do this without it being jerky. Alright, takes lights off, AP's coming on. Fans on. Right, finally. Where's my stopwatch? I've probably had 3 minutes with me. Put the brakes on. No, I don't want to do that. Right, bounce. Well, all I can say is thank God I'm not having to bloody fly back. What's that? 3.5, yeah, it drifted a bit. Well, there you go, that was Mykonos. Unfortunately, the landing was pretty useless, but there we go, at least you sort of saw how, well, what the plan was. Just unfortunately the execution was a bit poor. But it doesn't help that this basically turns into a slideshow at 50 feet. There we go. Thanks very much, guys. I hope I can sort this problem out. Yeah. I'm not around tomorrow. I'm out all day tomorrow, so I might get a stream in Thursday. What day is it tomorrow? It's Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, so Thursday I might get something in, and I'll see if I can look at this PC or something and do something between now and then, just to try and get it a bit better. But yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for watching, and any questions, just send me an email, send me a message, usual thing. And I'll see you later.